A few weeks ago, my channel had about 300 subscribers, and one real estate video took off, and I suddenly crossed 4,000 within a week. And so, what's interesting is that I don't think it happened because of thumbnails, not editing, not consistency, or any of the things that small creators obsess over. I think the mistake or the breakthrough happens much, much sooner than that. This video is for you if you've been posting consistently, you're trying to grow on YouTube, and you're wondering why your content still feels invisible. In this video, I'm going to walk through what I learned about getting monetized, what actually moved the needle, and why I think small creators are overcomplicating this YouTube growth thing. So, I started my YouTube channel probably in 2021 and I never really took it seriously. So I was just posting all kind of stuff. And then this year in 2026, I said, I'm about to get serious about YouTube. I really want to grow it. Let me get serious about posting consistently. But what the heck am I posting about? So I just started posting about anything. I took the strategy that let me just sit down, get comfortable speaking in front of the camera, get comfortable multiple times a week, creating recording myself, doing something, talking about something, anything. That was the first thing I did. I got comfortable with recording and put a system in place so that I could do it consistently. And so I was just recording whatever I wanted. I was thinking about what have I done? What's in my mind right now? Like, what are the things that I can sit down and talk about without a script? Because I feel like if you need a script, then you're probably not ready to talk about it yet. And just what I've seen from other creators and what's the trends on YouTube right now, we're in a trust recession. People don't want this perfect, polished keynote topic, keynote speech that you want to deliver on YouTube. People want to feel like they're sitting in the room with you and they're having a conversation. So that was the first thing. What can I simply just have a conversation about? And I want to share my screen because I want to show you what the analytics looked like during that time. Right. So you can see this is my live YouTube analytics. Okay. So I chose a time period from January to April of this year, which is the time frame where I said, "See here, I'm gonna start posting consistently." You see, it was flatline before, so I started posting consistently and posting whatever I wanted, and you can see 12 subscribers in 4 months, and not a whole lot of views, but I was getting some watch time hours. So you can see certain videos did better than others. And some of them were just, run of the mill, but I kept posting. And so if we look down here, we can see more detail. My best video was about Black professionals secretly wanting to quit their job. And then the next one was about layoffs. And other than that, you can see under 100 views was the norm. Like, I was excited if I got over 100 views. That was the bar at the time. And I think if you just starting now, you're trying to grow your channel, like, be realistic. So set a bar that is accurate for what you can achieve. So these two videos, they seem to be doing okay. And then there were some other clues. I started looking at like watch time. So you can see this one was almost 100 views, but a lot of the video was being consumed. So I started just looking at clues like what videos are doing well for me, not according to some other large creator and what they're doing, but for me. And so a lot of people were interested in this topic, but maybe my delivery wasn't so great. Maybe I didn't deliver on the title and the thumbnail because people didn't watch that much of it. So there's a clue. This one, I didn't get that many views, but the people who did watch it, they enjoyed majority of the video. Same here. So I'm taking all that into consideration as I move into my next phase. One thing that I discovered is that I need more data and I need it faster because I was only posting once a week and I was like, if I'm only posting once a week, let's say I have this strategy, and I actually did have a strategy. I was posting whatever I wanted, and then once I got this initial data, I was like, "Well, why don't I hunker down on what's working and do more of that?" But then I had the realization, I was like, "If I hunker down on these topics, it's going to take me months to understand if it was a blip or if it's a real trend that I was seeing." So then I had the realization, I'm like, I gotta post more frequently because if I move from posting once a week to posting twice a week, Now the data has collapsed itself. Now what would have taken me 3 months to gather, I can get that in about a month. So that was the first lever that I pulled, is that I gotta post more frequently. What you're looking at now is my analytics from May to June. That's just the last month of data. And so I did get monetized in this month. And I'm not gonna share what I earned just yet because the numbers are still rolling in. I haven't even been monetized a full month yet. So still compiling that data and I'll share that. But you can see that on May 11th, and I was calling it a Mother's Day gift, the internet told me exactly what they wanted to hear from me. From then on, you can see it's been up and down. It's not I mean, this video literally went viral, and you can't expect that to happen with every posting. But if you look down below at my videos, you can see the tide has risen, the entire channel. Like previously, I was happy to get 100 views, and now my floor is 1,000 views. So I have changed my personal, meter of what is a good video, if it's doing okay, if it's doing better than okay. So now one good video, listening to what the internet has said they want to hear from me, has risen the entire tide of my channel. I know it's a lot here, but what you're seeing is me taking the videos that did better than most in my previous little sprint where I was like, post whatever you want, me taking those video ideas and expanding them. So I took one idea about quitting my job and I made 4 different videos about it. I took another idea about layoffs. I made 4 different videos about it. That's how I got, I kept pushing and pushing until I got more data. And then lo and behold, you see people care about the quitting of the job and the real estate. That's what really got the people's attention. So that helped me see, it helped me make one key distinction that I know most small creators are not thinking about. Most small creators are thinking about the popular YouTube advice that you hear from big creators: thumbnail, title, uh, camera, insert whatever they're saying. None of that matters if you don't have this one thing. And it's ironic because when you decide that you want to start a YouTube channel, the very first thing you do, you pick a niche, what you decide, what am I going to talk about? And then you start obsessing over your titles and your thumbnails and your editing and all of that. But the big mistake that most small creators are making without even knowing it is you're asking, what do I want to talk about? Versus the real question is, what have I done that people care about? On a YouTube training session or coaching call, and people were going through their topics and what they wanted to talk about. And one young lady said she wanted to talk about people pleasing. And the instructor kept pushing her, what about people pleasing? Why should we listen to you about people pleasing? Most people can't push themselves on their own. And so if you're trying to figure out what you want to talk about, I would say go to ChatGPT, type in everything you have done or are doing and see what's interesting. I think that's the biggest issue, is that people want to talk about what's fun for them to talk about versus what do people admire about what I've done? Because if we take it back to the people pleasing example, what have you done that is impressive to someone who is suffering from people pleasing? Like, that's the real question. And I know we're telling any and everybody they can start a personal brand and that they should, and that all of that. I don't disagree. But I do think you have to have done something that is not usual, that is not normal, that just run of the mill, because anybody can get on the internet and just talk. Most people can't say they run 90 doors of real estate. And that is why the internet responded the way it did, because I have finally pinpointed, what does the internet want to hear from me specifically? What is the story that only I can tell? So you have to accept that your best content might not be what you planned. That video that took off, I didn't have a script. I was frustrated after coming out of a real estate meeting. I have a weekly call with my team. I was frustrated. I went to the park, turned on the camera, and that video was the result. And so it's like I was unpolished. I don't even know if it made any sense. I was all over the place, literally just venting about how I was feeling. And that is the video that the internet wanted to hear and watch. So I do think the strategy of posting whatever you want, you have to start there because you have to get some data. Once the data starts to paint a picture, then you can go all in on something. And it might not be the thing that you wanted to talk about. It's more about what do people want to hear. But the other slight tweak that I randomly stumbled upon was that there's one thing that YouTube cares about. And that one thing is relevance. I will go back to the people pleasing example. Is that relevant to the majority of the population right now? And I'm not saying you have to pick a topic that is relevant to the majority of the population, but your job is to make your topic relevant to the majority of the population. So, in my own example, layoffs, hot button topic right now. Making money outside of corporate, hot button topic right now. Running side businesses so that you can quit your job, or in my case, can't quit my job, hot button topic right now. And so if you think about the algorithm has millions of videos to choose from, they have to have a filter and a selection process. That selection process is first, what videos are relevant right now? Like what do people care about? And it's not necessarily what are people searching for, because people might not be searching about something that's emotionally charging. They might not be searching for that, but if they see that video pop up, they're going to click. I have several other working theories that I have examples from of my own channel of how YouTube decides which creators get pushed. And I'm only going to share that with my Cash Crew members. So if you want that level of insight, go ahead and join the membership here on YouTube. It is not random and it is not about how many subscribers you have. So if I had to start over, I would first pick a cadence of more than once a week so that I can get data faster. I would aim to post at least twice a week. That's enough to where you won't get burnt out, but you can get some data. And if you got enough in you to post 4 times a week, have at it. But I would immediately stop thinking about what I wanted to talk about, and I would start thinking about what are the tensions that I'm facing. And for me, the real estate is something I actually didn't want to talk about because I thought it was too personal and I don't want people to know my business and people are going to ask me all sorts of questions, which they are. And it's like, I've heard creators say that before, that the thing you don't want to talk about is actually what you should be talking about. So your job is, what is it that I'm trying to keep private? Could it actually help somebody? Can I find a way to talk about it that won't expose me personally and that I won't feel is too intrusive? But what is the perfect world mesh up of all of those things where I can talk about it, not feel like I'm divulging too many private details, and still help people on YouTube that are searching for that kind of content? And of course, pick a content type that you are comfortable with. A lot of you know that I have another channel here on YouTube and I run it with my cousin. We are sharing how we're implementing AI across our busy lives. And she shared something that was it was a great, introspective realization. She's like, we started off saying we were going to do AI demos. And she's like, I don't like to do AI demos. And it's like, that's real. It's like you're not going to be consistent with something that you just don't want to do. So be clear, be honest with yourself. What type of content can you sit down and do that isn't too much of a pull? It isn't too much of a strain. And so for me, I realized just turning on camera and just running my mouth, it works for me. So make sure you have that figured out as well. I think a lot of small creators are sitting on experiences that people genuinely care about, that people genuinely want to hear about right now, but you're trying to package yourselves based on what you see big creators do. You see them have perfect edits. You see them having teams. You see them just not making a single mistake, not stumbling over their words. You just see a higher level of production. And so you think that's what a YouTuber is supposed to be like. And you think those are the types of channels and those are the content types that is being pushed. And I don't think it has anything to do with that anymore. I think that is old advice. And if you're a small creator, you need to be taking advice from other small creators who are growing. I will continue to share all of my YouTube findings with you guys as soon as they become known to me. My name is Jerry, and if you're still here, do me a favor, give that like button a smash. Keep building that confidence and keep building that cash, y'all. I make videos for ambitious people who want to build life on their terms, and you can get a behind the scenes look at my businesses over on Substack at Confidence is Cash, and you can see how I'm using AI to do all of the things over on the Prompt Life podcast here on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.